Hello.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm gonna run out and see if my husband can click on.
Perfect.
No, my phone's not on. Me. That sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand. I'm not. It is off. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes.
Excellent. Okay. 12 people already? Just right on time.
That side?
All right, who we got here? Can you guys see and hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, great.
My audio is also good, yeah?
Hi, Steffi.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you. All right, we're gonna wait a couple more minutes. Maybe some more people will come on. Just making sure that we got everyone here. Okay. All right. So who we got here? There's some people from Germany. Yeah, I can tell. Ah, Japia. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay, you guys all have your microphones off. I appreciate that because last time I had someone in my other webinar sitting in the bathtub and you could hear the water. So yeah, let's check that all of that is good. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Tom?
I am ready.
If you like, just let's check. Do we have Steffi on here? Stephanie Hamburger? Is she here yet?
Doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it. Okay. No, she's not. I see the list. No, she's not. I hope she's coming on soon because we need to talk to her so she can share her experiences. Okay. Anyways, guys, it's a little
Steffi,
bit...
ich bin schon hier, Stefanie.
Ah, there she is. Okay, awesome. Okay, then let's get started. And yeah, Tom, do you want to get started?
Sure. Let me go ahead and bring up the presentation here.
Great.
Let's see.
Did you go lost?
No, I'm still here. Just trying to bring this up. Let's see. There we go. That's what I want to share.
Ah, there
All
we
right, so can everybody see this?
I see it.
You see it.
Nice.
All right, that's
Yes.
good.
Yes, I see it.
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
okay, good. So thank you all for coming today. It's very nice to have everybody. Our first English international webinar for Lavylites, which I think is very exciting. So we want to today give you just a little bit more information. I know some of you have been spraying for a while, and some of you might be new to this. So we're just hoping to give you some information. We're going to take some questions towards the end. So we're going to turn off, let's see if we can still see the chat window. Let me see, let's go to this. Yeah, so we can see the chat window. So if you do have questions, just kind of save them to the end, and then we're going to take care of those as we go along, if that sounds good to everybody. All right, so Lavylites, the cosmetics of the new age, something for our consciousness and for every individual cell in our bodies. So Lavylites works with your body's cellular information, which is a good start for right now. But before we really get too much into it, I just want to say we're not making a statement here to heal or cure or treat anything. So everything that you see here are based on personal experiences, things that either we personally have seen or things that that people have chosen to share with one another. So again, this isn't meant to heal or cure anything. So if you do have an illness or a medical issue, it's important that you consult a doctor or therapist of your choice before we do anything else. Okay.
All right. So this is me, Stephanie Henry. Tom and me were working together, and we met in Austria. And before that, I had a number of things I I accomplished, I can say. And during my whole work, during my whole path, I was able to understand the body system, the nervous system more and more and more. And Lavylites crossed my path as my daughter was sick. And I'm sorry? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. And way before that, as you can tell on the left-hand side, that was me about 10 years ago, carrying much more weight than I have now. So I just wanted to show you guys my purpose of why I do what I do is to call the potential in that people really carry within themselves. And during my own, I can say, history and story about that, I have learned so many things about myself, and I also share that with others in terms of coaching. So Lavylites is one of the most important things for me to get my clients set up with. When I coach, I always recommend Lavylites for them. And you don't have to be someone who is a coach or who is working in some sort of business. You also can be, and I used to be that, a single mom, for example. And you just can, spray. That's all you need to do. Everybody knows how to push, that spray bottle and to spray. And that's all it needs. Everybody can do that. And the kids, for example, love just taking the spray and spray around them, spray into the mouth, whatever. That's how simple it is. And that's how simple we actually want to keep this also during that webinar. And for me, it's important to say that regardless of what you did so far, you always can combine that with your own vitality, with your own health. And this is pretty much what we are talking about when we talk about Lavylites. It's our, us being vital, us being in a condition that we really can develop ourselves into something bigger and better than we are right now. Not that we're, bad or something, but there's always something that we actually can go for, the purpose in life. And Lavylites will support that process. We just dive some more into that in a minute. But before we do that, I'd love to introduce Tom.
Thank you. So I also have done a variety of different things before Stephanie and I came to Lavylites. So my background, I'm a former collegiate and semi-professional athlete. I played football in Austria for 3 years. So a lot of how I came to Lavylites and how I have started looking at things have been from a preventative sort of position. So obviously football is a contact sport, so you end up with a lot of bumps and bruises and things like that. So for me, Lavylites has been a great way to help myself in terms of recovery, in terms of dealing with a lot of injuries, I would say, in that kind of a way. So it's been very cool. I was in wine sales for a while, and now I'm into performance management, working here in San Francisco. So working with people in the tech sector and then around the Bay Area. And then Stephanie and I have, since 2015, we've worked together specifically doing translations for a lot of this work that we've been doing. So we've translated a lot of material from German into English, a little bit from English to German, but we've gotten pretty good at quick turnaround on translating things. So we've done a lot of Lavylites translations for vitalinternational.net, which is our info center. It's a great resource, a great tool for sharing Lavylites with people, for sharing information, and also for supporting your team. So we have done a lot of collaboration with them. We've also done translations for Ludwig Reiser, who's a quantum physicist. We'll mention him more a little bit later, and we also have some content from him that goes a little bit deeper into how Lavylites actually works with the information in your body, and it takes it to a deeper level. And then also in terms of marketing and in terms of building this out from a business standpoint, we've done some work for Al Schreider, who's one of the biggest names in networking, and we've done some translations for other people as well. So it's been very cool to be, very grateful to be part of the voice of Lavylites as it comes into the English-speaking world internationally.
Beautifully phrased.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So let's get started with Tibor. The reason why we all came together here is this man, Tibor Jakubowicz. He is, he's an amazing being, I can say. Not only that he is a scientist and he is sharing all his wisdom with us, but he's someone who's really standing up for what he believes in. There were many different things he had to go through in order to make it happen, that we all can talk about Lavylites in a way that we're not talking about healing or curing, but really talking about cell rejuvenation. And at that point, it's very important to me to really say rejuvenation, because I think Lavylites also picked up on that, because we were giving them feedback that re-aging is not the word to use in English. It's rejuvenation, Verjüngung auf Deutsch. And this is what we do. We support our body system, our cellular system, our nervous system, all the systems we have, we support with Lavylites to rejuvenate. And that rejuvenation does something within you. And I don't know who of you already has their own experiences. I can say for myself, and I also see it in my family and in my circle of friends, that the whole system is changing. People start being different in a very healthy way. they are interacting with each other in a different way, because 3.I, for example, and Tom will get into that in a minute, will support you to really stay on track with your emotions. It will support you also staying more clear and focused. And those kind of things are possible because Tibor Jakubowicz, long time ago, had a vision within the jungle as he did his research on how to put ingredients together to make them work for the body system. And he is someone who is making a big shift in our world. And in the holistic world, you could really call that a life shift for many people. What I see and hear now within the last 2 years, since I really do that on daily basis, is amazing. And some of those experiences will be shared tonight. We have 2 ladies on here who would like to share her story with you. And we will welcome them in also in a couple of minutes. And Tibor really has been through a lot, through many different sabotages and many different types of fields in research to present us what he has now. And in Lavylites, we have so many different products now for supporting our heart, supporting our brains, supporting our whole holistic system. And really in that matter, holistic, so ganzheitlich in German, means body, mind, and soul. And as Tom will tell you here pretty soon, all of that works together in our webinars. So we are working in a holistic approach, and I am specialized with the nervous system. So what I will do in the next couple of webinars is that I also will introduce you more to our nervous system, to our way our brains, our body, our heart, our mind works together, and how we can get deeper into that type of work, and in order to understand ourselves better. And this is one of the goals Tibor has, is that everybody here can really support their own system, understand themselves better, and get to a point where you really develop your potential more and more and more. And Tom, if you don't mind, can you do the next slide? Yeah. So he is interested in this type of holistic approach for all of us, directly to the cell, directly in the cell, down to the DNA. We're talking about a very special and unique frequency that Lavylites works with. It works through the cell membrane. And that's what makes it so special. It's information technology, and that kind of technology is totally new to this world. So we are having our hands on something really unique and special. This is, in my opinion, a gift to this world. And I am very happy that we all found together here at this very first webinar to just embrace the beauty of all of this. So Tom, if you're ready, we dive into that some more.
I am ready. All right. So when we talk about Lavylites, there are a number of different lines of products that have special applications, let's say, the way that people have used them. So the 5 main ones are the Lavil line, which has to do with cleaning and care. These are also the ones that are most universally applied. We have the Solvil line, which deals with detoxification. The Havel line is for energy activation. Exiol is for regeneration, and Pentil are food supplements that have an effect on both the heart, the circulatory system, and the brain, which I'll get into a little bit at the end here. So we're going to start with a little bit of overview. So basically what's important to note is that your body's own intelligence decides where this information is needed. So your body will take in this information, it will shuttle it to wherever it's needed, and then anything that isn't needed is expelled. And your body actually does a really great job of this. Your body is a finely tuned mechanism, let's say, that knows exactly what it needs, when it needs, and where it needs it. Other important things to notice: if you are going to be spraying one area of your body, that's a double. So your shoulders, elbows, knees, kidneys, anything that you have two of, always spray both sides. So both eyes, both knees, both shoulders, any of that. And it's also important to shake everything before each use, which is funny. When you get into some of the tablets, I find myself shaking the bottle of tablets, even though it's not a spray. But that gets everything activated. So we're going to start with the Havel 3.I, the energy spray, which is sort of the key, the foundation. This is the 3 stands for body, mind, and spirit, and the I stands for intuition, but also can be I as in your third eye activation. And this is really the key spray. This one you spray under your tongue, and this not only activates the energy systems in your body, but it also is sort of it increases the effects of the other sprays when you use them. So we always start with this one, no matter what else we're spraying. And what this one can also do, as you can see here, it can freshen your breath. It's got a nice fruity taste to it. If you have issues with your concentration, if you have a lack of energy, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling fearful in any type of situation, this is the perfect one to spray. And I don't know how many bottles of 3.I Stephanie and I have gone through, just trying to get things, get things in order, get things going. But it really is a great tool, especially in terms of like, if you feel yourself approaching a burnout, is really great to just calm and ground yourself. So as I mentioned as well, the Lavylites line has sort of the most universally applied products for us. And as you'll hear later from some of these personal experiences, the Lavyl Auricum Sensitive is kind of the go-to, kind of the workhorse spray that we like to use. I personally use it in the mornings and in the evenings as a regenerative spray. So just for kind of my own well-being, for a little bit of calmness. But it's also a great first aid spray for if you have a cut or a scrape, any type of burn, aches or pains. I use it a lot for my, on muscle groups that I've trained in the gym or after running. I managed to hit myself in the head with a wrench a couple of days ago, so I sprayed that, and the blemish on my forehead has gone away and feel a lot better. But you can also use it to strengthen auras, to energize rooms, to clear out any stale or stuck energy that you may have. So you really can use it for everything. The other thing that I will say is people always ask us what you can use these sprays for. Should I use sensitive? Should I use Auricum? And for us, the important thing is whatever it feels like your body needs in that moment. So there really is no wrong application for anything. So if you feel like, we've had a lot of stories from people who have used, for example, they've said, I had a sore throat, so I drank the body wash, and you go, okay, great. If that's what you feel like you need in that situation, give it a try. And again, these are all personal experiences, so whatever works for you is the right thing to use.
Hey, Tom, do you think we can take one of the ladies in for the Auricum?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe Steffi? Steffi, bist du da?
Ja.
Maybe,
Okay.
Maybe
Hörst du mich?
let me see if
Yeah,
I
I
see.
started.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So may I introduce Stephanie Hemberger? She is one of our ladies. Tom, could you pull up the slides? Would you be so kind to show us her legs, please? Yeah. So this is Stephanie's legs, and she had Yeah, eczema, very bad. I met her many years ago, and like last year at a seminar, I met her again, and I remember we were just talking, and she immediately knew that Lavylites were something she needs, and she felt that, and since then we are really connected on a really deeper level. And I'd like to ask you, Steffi. I ask her in German and then I translate. Was war das Wichtigste für dich, als du Lavylites kennengelernt hast?
Also zuerst habe ich schon ein Jahr nach einer Lösung gesucht für meine Beine.
Moment, ich übersetze gleich. So I was asking her, what was the most important thing to you? And she said, well, I've been looking for a solution for over a year back then. Okay.
Mhm. Und als ich dich getroffen habe und du mich gesprüht hast, habe ich sofort gespürt, dass es das ist.
Okay.
Body Feedback.
Okay. And as we met and you sprayed me, I immediately knew that this was it. I needed that spray.
Mhm. Ja. Und das Sensitiv und das Lymphspray haben mir den Juckreiz genommen und diese Hitze in den Beinen.
Okay, so the sensitive and the lymph spray just took off the itching of my skin and also the heat. And as you can tell, that rush is very red, and you can tell that it must have been very hot the way it looks like, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Auf deinen Rat hin habe ich das komplette Paket genommen, weil ich dir vertraut habe und du gesagt hast, nimm alles, das resettet deine Zellen. Und so war es auch.
Right. So I recommended to Steffi to really take the whole package and not just go with 2 or 3 sprays, because the body needs a full rehab to support the whole system. And she said, and I'm pretty happy I did that, and I took the whole package, and yeah, it worked out, obviously. And look at those beautiful legs to the right, man.
6 Wochen später war alles weg.
6 weeks later, everything was gone. So 6 weeks later, everything was recovered, rejuvenated. And yeah, bist du seitdem sozusagen happy, oder?
Sehr happy, yeah. Very happy.
Yeah, she's happy, absolutely, since then. And when was that? Last year in?
Wir haben uns gesehen im Juni 16.
Okay,
Nein,
so
Juni 17. Juni 17 und August war es dann weg.
Right. So June 2017 we met, and it was gone in August 2017. So that's how fast it can go, people. This is like one of the most, incredible things, I think, if you recommend it to someone. And really what I always want to share with people is that please detach from the outcome. I always say, I do have experience with it. I know what it did for me or for someone else, but I don't know what it can do for you. Your body system is different than mine. And this is what I told Steffi as well. I said, I'm not going to make any promises. And if you give it a shot, then please, do the full program and just give your body the chance to do its job, because your body exactly knows what to do with that. And yeah, so thank you, Steffi, for your experience, for sharing your pictures with us, for your trust. And yeah.
Sehr gerne.
You're one of my go-go girls on the team, so I love to have you on the webinar. And Steffi gained a big team by now, and her trust and her belief in herself and in her body just really brought her to a different kind of life too. It's all on its way, and you really can tell. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so Tom, do we want to bring Meg on as well?
We can, absolutely. We
all right, let's do that.
Our other experience, and somebody who has been spraying for about a year and a half or more, I would say, is my mother, Meg Simeone, who's also here and has had some also pretty interesting experiences with Lavylites. So are you here, Mom?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
I don't see myself, so I'm not sure if you can see my face.
No, I think your video is off, but let's see.
Oh, here, I just saw it down here.
There you go.
Show my video. Here we go. Hi, everybody.
All right. So, I know that you started using, well, I guess tell us, how did you come to Lavylites, and what has been what's been your experience?
You know, Tom, I think I've been using Lavylites maybe almost 2 years. And I approached it with a bit of skepticism. I had heard about it. And I was looking for something that could help me with some of my anxiety. And so I decided to try it. And I have to say the skepticism continued for a while because I kept going back to what I've grown up with, medical doctors. And then something shifted and things started happening so quickly that I'm such a convert. If I run out of it, I start to get anxious, and it's like I need to have the next order right away. So what I noticed first of all is that small things like mosquito bites, I'd spray and the sting would go away almost immediately, and I wouldn't have any problems. Or bruises that I'd get, I'd spray and they disappear fairly quickly. But the big things that started to happen for me, one was I'm rowing in an 8-person boat, and it's very stressful on my back. And so Tom and Stephanie told me to spray before I row and after I row on both sides of my lower back. And it had gotten so bad before I did this that I really didn't know if I could continue the sport. So I started spraying, and almost that immediately, the pain started to go away. I was waking up in the morning with a really sore back, having difficulty getting out of bed, and I don't have that at all anymore. And so I continue spraying my back, and now I'm competing in a race next month. So I'm really pleased that I can continue in my activities. I got a really bad rash on my cheeks, and it just kept getting progressively worse. And for some reason, even though so many things have been happening for me with Lavylites, I decided to go to a dermatologist. And they gave me cream and said, oh, it'll be gone in a couple of days, and it wasn't. And then Tom reminded me, well, have you sprayed? And so I did, and he said, try the 3i, or I think Stephanie said, try the 3i, which I wouldn't have thought to use on my face. And it very, very definitely started to clear it up. And I haven't quite figured out what it is when it comes back, but I use it, and it's starting to slowly get better. I mean, I really was just bright red, almost like the legs that you see on the screen there. And it was burning and very, very uncomfortable. So that's been wonderful. I guess the last example, I've got so many I can share, but the last example I'll share is that I had frozen shoulder a few years ago. And if you're not familiar with it, it's an intense pain in your shoulder where the shoulder capsule and the muscles that go into the capsule are just absolutely frozen. I mean, they don't move. And I had some pretty intensive therapy on my shoulder. But as I was nearing the end of that, I was introduced to Lavylites, and I started spraying, and I noticed the flexibility that I had, the ability to move my arm in directions that I hadn't been able to was pretty phenomenal. And so I continue today just to spray, all over my body, just to ensure that I'm not getting back to that place where I was just stiff and not able to move. And the very last thing I'll say is that our family has started to use the spray, and even my 2-year-old grandson, who, when he sees me, he'll go like this, or he'll pack the back of his neck while I'll spray the sensitive, and it just relaxes him, and he goes to sleep better. He relaxes. So it's so innocuous and organic that I feel very comfortable to even use it on my grandson. So I I agreed to talk about it because I just feel so strongly that it does something very special, and it's made a big difference in my life.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really happy to hear all of that, because it's that really does something to me, that so many different people from all parts of the world really by now have similar experiences, and make their own experiences with it, and find some, I can say, some peace with themselves and their body in different ways.
Yeah,
And
the other thing I'll tell you, Stephanie, is the last thing you mentioned to me before you left the U.S. was to spray my eyes, and I had been doing that, but it was very intense. It was like, yeah, it really hurt. And you said, well, over time it will dissipate, and it has. And I do believe that at some point I'll be able to stop wearing my glasses. So that's pretty exciting.
I am so happy to hear that. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
All right. We're running a little short on time. I know that we have to extend those meetings at a certain point in time. We still have 3 minutes, and it's I just wanted to make sure we have the experience in. And I also will share the next webinar with you guys. It's the 23rd of April. So we plan on doing this on every 2 weeks, every other week. So we can really share some more stuff with you. We talked a little bit about the auricum, but Tom, I think what's really important right now is that we say 2 or 3 words about pentyl hard and aurelium bleu.
Sure. We'll do that, as quickly as possible. What I will say before we do that, just real quick, is if anybody does have any questions, you can go ahead and send. I think most people have either Stephanie's contact information or my contact information on WhatsApp. And you can shoot your questions over to us, and we can make sure that we get those answered for you really quickly.
I also just put my email address. If you want to get on the newsletter, on the international newsletter, just shoot us an email, and we'll make sure you get on there.
Yeah, so we will take care of those questions. We'll get back to you via email or WhatsApp. But for the last 2 minutes, just real quick, pentyl hard and aurelium bleu, which are both dietary supplements. Pentyl hard, and we've got a video that we're in the process of translating that should be ready shortly, is a little bit more information about that from a cardiologist. But basically it works with strengthening your heart muscle, your circulatory system, and has this effect, more of a preventative effect. What you'll hear in the video is talking, instead of waiting until it's too late and you have to go see a cardiologist, it's taking control of that in advance and really working to strengthen your heart.
Also, to get the water out of your system, lymphedema. I am happy to say that my cells got way better and they let go of the water much faster. Just to let you guys know, for people who suffer from that.
And then the aurelium bleu is a tablet that I've actually started taking, and I've noticed much more focus and mental clarity, and I have to say organization in the last 48 hours, let's call it. But it's very effective for people who have had dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that, that have an effect on memory, on brain activity. And so I'm excited to share my experience with that a little bit more as I take it a little bit more, but that'll be something that we can cover next time as well.
Right. So next webinar, 23rd of April, same time, you guys. I also put my phone number here for WhatsApp in case you don't have it yet. And yeah, I'm happy that we all could get together. I know it's a little bit short, but that was the very first time. Spread the info, share it with your friends, have them on here so we can share this opportunity for everybody and just make this, let's face it, really make this world a better place, because that's what it does. We all get more calm. And I just